Welcome to Machine God East, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mr. Darling, and I'm out here getting my steps in because the weather is perfect. It's about 75 degrees here in Las Vegas, and I'm going to use this as an opportunity to get myself back into shape. During the winters, I usually put on some pounds in order to stay warm, and I usually develop this pooch that I be wanting to get rid of by the summer because it be so hot out here. And like I said, it's still winter technically, I believe, or spring is right around the corner. At least the animals think it's spring. But it's already getting hot. Next week it's going to be in the 80s again, and when it start getting hot, I don't want to have to wear a shirt. I want to be able to just ditch the shirt altogether and not be out here offending people with my Homer Simpson gut. But that's neither here nor there. Today I want to talk about what I was saying pretty much earlier in the week about workers being replaced by AI. There was a comment left under that video talking about how people like me complain about the machine, we talk about the machine, but yet we participate in the machine, we feed the machine. And at first when that comment was left, I was a little offended. I was like, okay, like, well, what the fuck do you want me to do? Because the person said, if you want to really fight the machine, you just have to stop. You just have to stop doing everything, right? Pretty much that's what, and this is not the only person that's saying this. A lot of people online right now saying the same thing. The only issue I have with that, well, I'm getting ahead of myself. Saying to stop participating in everything is the solution. It really is. It is. But how do you do that and also continue to live in the world? You understand what I'm saying? You still have to be able to eat. You still have to be able to clothe yourself, provide a roof for yourself. And a lot of people that say, just stop going to work and all that, get checks from other places. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that's what the commentator under my video, that's what their circumstance is, but I noticed, it's just something that I noticed, that a lot of people, especially on these internet streets, TikTok, YouTube, often say, well, just stop participating. Okay, I would love to stop participating, but then I'm gonna sleep outside again. And when a lot of these people are able to be perpetually online all day because somebody else is flipping the bill for them, their parents, the government, SSI, but people like me, I don't have that luxury. You understand? So I have to go to work. I have to participate. Even as far as like being a content creator. Like I said in the last video I made on Monday, even as a content creator, there's nothing passive about being, no passive income about being a content creator. You constantly got to produce. Even a person like Mr. Beast still has to get up every day and produce and make videos and get out there and come up with ideas in order to like fund their lifestyle, in order to maintain what they have built. And you would say, well, that person's a millionaire, a billionaire, whatever. How they could just sit back? Not really, when they have employees that depend on them to get up and come up with the ideas and come up with these productions and all this other stuff. So like I said, I made the video, and the comment initially kind of pissed me off. I'm not gonna even hold you up. I was like, well, just stop. And that's easier said than done. And especially for some of you that know me, y'all know that just a couple years ago, I was sleeping outside, right? If you've never slept outside under the freaking stars, I wouldn't suggest telling people to just quit their jobs or to just not participate or to just not make money in this economy. It's crazy.
Now would be a great time for people to quit their jobs en masse. And I'm so serious. Like right now specifically would be the time for everyone to quit their 9-to-5 jobs and start participating in the system altogether. Because again, people contributing to the capitalistic system is how it continues to be the way that it is. So by continuing to go to work for these companies and corporations that make billions of dollars and don't pay their employees a livable wage, that makes the system continue to be the way that it is. When we're out buying things from these companies and corporations that literally are just raising prices and inflation and all of these things that we really don't need, that's also an issue to where it will keep us in that loop of participating in the capitalism.
If you're able to sustain yourself without participating in this machine, then good for you. Most people aren't able to do that. So even though the solution is the solution, just stop participating, it's also not the solution because it's easier said than done. You understand? If one person stops participating, then the next person's going to take their place because that person needs a job and that person wants an economic come up. That is the trap. That is the trap of this machine. You understand? If I stop being the cog today, let's say I stop working at the restaurant that I work at, there's going to be another server who There's a lot of people in this city that need a job right now. This is gonna come and take that place. And then what am I doing? I'm struggling, hoping that people donate money to me, maybe through the internet or through any other venture that I'm a part of. You know what I'm saying? And more than likely what happens, I end up back on the streets. That's the trap. Nobody wants to be in that position. And it gets me thinking about how privileged we are to be able to live here too. That's why I always say, being an American, you know, has its privileges. We don't see bombs right now. World War III has officially started. Let's just be honest. Y'all see bombs falling over Tel Aviv. Y'all see bombs falling all over the Middle East. And eventually, I wouldn't be surprised if some bombs start falling here too. I wouldn't be surprised. But as it stands, where we live, where we are, we're in a position to be, we're privileged, bro. We don't worry about bombs falling on us. And then at the same time, on a beautiful spring day, I'm able to come out here and just be creative. Still, even though everybody said, oh, the economy is horrible, I'm not a rich person. I'm not making money. I'm not, you know, at all. Like, really, I am what you would consider under the poverty line, way under the poverty line. Y'all say, well, you make YouTube videos all week. On average, I'm gonna share something with y'all. I make about, on average, if I make videos all week, every week, I make about $200 on YouTube every month from AdSense, right? And occasionally I have a couple followers on here that donate some coin, which I really appreciate to keep the operation going. I really do. But for the most part, within a month's time, I don't make a lot of money from content creation. And I'm not on here complaining about that, but I'm just saying I'm not a rich man compared to also making minimum wage at my job. And depending on whether people come in and give me a tip or not, that's on them, you know what I'm saying? Most of the time, by the end of the week, I break even as far as my rent, being able to just take care of my lifestyle, and I may be able to buy me a little bit of something to eat and a couple action figures. I swear to God, that's how my life is working right now, okay? But even with that menial existence, I consider myself to be pretty privileged. I do, to be here, okay? And so if I choose to opt out of the machine, I have to understand that somebody else is gonna take advantage of that privilege. Somebody else is gonna say, well, I want that job. I'm gonna live there, you understand? Like, or whatever the case may be, they're gonna take advantage of an opportunity that I choose to give away, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna just sit up here and just be the one like out here on the corner, right? Because I'm trying to make some moral stance on fighting a machine that has existed before I was even here, and will be existing way long after I'm gone. Yes, the protest in order to stop like AI and everything is to like stop participating, but you just can't. You don't just stop. Nobody's gonna just stop. People gonna go to work. People gonna go to the club. People gonna party. People gonna go shopping. People gonna do the things that they wanna do in order to make themselves feel comfortable in this world. They're not gonna fucking become Quakers and just say, okay, I'm gonna completely abandon the machine because AI is about to fuck us, right? I mean, technically we should, and like I say, the commentator isn't wrong for the statement, but like I say, easier said than done to say, just stop, just don't participate, just don't do anything. Not that easy. I wish it was that easy. I do. I wish I could take that position. I wish I could be the person that could be the monk that could just walk the world. But the reason I talk about what I'm talking about now is because it's fucking happening. I'm gonna talk about it. Whether I participate in the machine or not, don't mean that I should just be quiet about what's going on. I'm gonna speak. And when people say, oh, well, you talk about it, you complain about it, I don't like that, because it seems like people are trying to silence people that are speaking. If you feel like I should be talking about something else, or you have something else better to talk about, then you talk about it, right? Or if you feel like your solutions can't fight the machine, let's say for instance, this individual said, okay, in order to fight the machine, you have to stop participating. They're not wrong, right? They're not wrong. But that person can make their videos and detail how to stop participating in the system. How do we, this is the conundrum I'm facing. How do I stop? And then also continue to be able to feed myself, clothe myself, house myself, not be out here in some alley in the streets, right? Like that's so when I make videos, a lot of times my goal in making some of the videos is to not just point out the problem, but also just say there's some solution to it. I'm not a fucking genius. I don't know what the goddamn solution is to fight the machine. I don't. I know that there are allegories to it, like, you know, the Matrix Revolution, the symbiotic relationship between man and machine, how we need each other, how there's not one without the other. Even when you go down to basic tools, in order for human civilization to grow, we need each other. The machine needs man and man needs the machine. I understand that, especially if we want to be able to have this lifestyle where everybody can have some level of comfort and some level of a piece of the pie here, because there's a lot of people suffering despite the fact that we do have all this fucking technology. But how do we get better? Right? How do we use technology to make us better? That's what's going on, right? That's the issue. None of these leaders and people that are pushing, when they get on here and they talk about all these things, the reason that we feel so insecure is because they're telling us they're about to get rid of 50% of jobs. Who is it? The guy that used to, Sam Dorsey or Jack Dorsey. He just fired half of his freaking staff because he's gonna replace them with AI. That doesn't give people confidence in this machine, does it? And I'm not the billionaire class to be able to influence that. I'm just a nigga on the internet. And so when I see comments like that, I get it. I get that people are listening and they want me to say something that's profound or something that's very solution-based, that's just gonna break down the structure of everything. But I'm not, my ego doesn't, I'm not gonna even pretend like I'm that smart. I'm not. The thing about me, my skills come and just being able to just talk, analyze, and understand that just because I want something to be a certain way, or just because things should be a certain way, don't mean that they're gonna be that way, right? And like I said, I'm not making this video to go with the commentator. I agree with the commentator. I agree with it's pinned to the last video. If y'all don't know what I'm talking about, because I'm not gonna edit it in here, go to the last video, I pinned it to the top. Y'all can see what I'm talking about. I'm not going at that person. I hope the comment is still there. I hope they didn't delete it. Like I said, they pretty much said, you know, people like myself, we get on here, we complain about the machine, but we participate in it. We go to work, we make these videos, all this stuff, you know, da-da-da. And I think that they're correct. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm going to just throw this one up. I don't feel like cutting anything out. If y'all have good weather going on where y'all are, get out there, get y'all some fresh air, get it in, you know what I'm saying? Preventative care is the best type of care. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'll catch y'all next time.